Adam wasn't sure when Elias had slipped into his apartment. But when he turned from the sink, Elias was there, leaning casually against the counter, arms crossed, watching him with an amused expression. Adam exhaled sharply, setting his glass down. "You need to stop breaking in." Elias smirked. "You need to lock your windows." Adam scowled but didn't argue, because the truth was, he didn't really mind, not anymore, not after today. Elias tilted his head, studying him. "You enjoyed it." Adam tensed. "What?" "The coffee spill," Elias murmured, watching her fail. Adam's throat tightened. He turned away, running a hand through his hair. "It wasn't a big deal." Elias chuckled. "You don't have to lie to me, Adam. I'm the only one you don't have to lie to." Adam pressed his palms against the counter, breathing deeply. It was small. Just petty revenge. Elias stepped closer. Too close. His presence wrapped around Adam like a shadow. A whisper of something dangerous. "But now you know," Elias murmured, "how easy it is." Adam swallowed, his pulse unsteady. Because yes, it had been easy. Too easy. Elias's fingers brushed the edge of the counter beside him. Not touching, just there. A reminder of how close he was. "Tell me, Adam." His voice was soft, coaxing. "Does she suspect you?" Adam hesitated. "I don't know. You should know." Adam turned, meeting Elias's gaze. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," Elias said, "that you need to stay ahead of her." Adam exhaled sharply. "You want me to do something worse?" Elias smiled. "I want you to win." Adam's stomach twisted. "This isn't a game." Elias laughed. "Oh, but it is, Adam." He leaned in, lowering his voice. "And you're finally learning how to play." Adam looked away, jaw tight. Elias was wrong. He wasn't like him. He wasn't. But didn't he deserve to push back? Didn't Ayumi deserve to lose for once? Elias's voice was silk against his thoughts. "You've already started, Adam. Why stop now?" Adam closed his eyes. Because he wasn't sure if he wanted to stop. Adam sat in his car, the engine idling. He wasn't sure how he got here. Or maybe he was. Maybe he had known, from the moment Elias planted the seed in his mind, that this was inevitable. Ayumi was inside the office building, alone. It was late, long past when most employees had gone home, but not her. She was stubborn, paranoid, and she was looking for answers, answers that would lead her straight to him. Adam flexed his fingers against the steering wheel. He could leave, could just walk away. But then Elias's voice whispered through his thoughts. "You need to stay ahead of her." Adam's stomach twisted. He wasn't going to hurt her. He wasn't like that. But he had to do something. Otherwise, she'd ruin everything. And he couldn't let that happen. Not now. Not when it was too late to turn back. Ayumi sat at her desk, scrolling through security logs. She was close. Too close. She tapped her pen against the table, biting her lip. The USB had been stolen. The laptop had been destroyed. And both times. Adam had been right there. Her gut told her it wasn't a coincidence. She just needed proof. A sound behind her made her freeze. Footsteps, slow, measured. Her heart pounded. "Who's there?" No answer. She stood, glancing toward the doorway. The lights flickered slightly, casting shadows against the walls. Her breath hitched. Something felt wrong. She reached for her phone. But then, suddenly, the screen went black. Her entire computer shut down. Her desk lamp flickered, then died. Panic surged through her. "What the hell?" She spun around, but the hallway was empty. Silence stretched. Then, a whisper. Software. Close, right behind her. "You should stop digging, Ayumi." She turned sharply, her pulse erratic. But the room was empty. No one there. Just darkness. Just silence. Her breath came uneven. Had she imagined it? No, she knew what she heard. Her hands trembled as she grabbed her bag. She needed to get out of here. Now. Adam watched as Ayumi practically ran out of the building, her face pale, her steps hurried. His heart pounded. He had done it. No violence. No threats. Just fear. And it had worked. The power of it thrummed through his veins. It had been so easy to get into the office after hours. So easy to kill the power, to slip past her without being seen. So easy to make her doubt herself. He exhaled sharply, gripping the wheel. His hands weren't shaking. He should feel guilty. But instead, he felt alive. Elias was waiting for him when he got home. The moment Adam stepped inside, Elias smiled. A slow, knowing smile. "You did well," Elias murmured. Adam's throat was dry. He tossed his keys onto the counter, trying to ignore the rush still coursing through him. "I just scared her." Elias tilted his head. "And?" Adam swallowed. "And it worked." Elias stepped closer. "And how did it feel?" Adam hesitated, because the truth was, it had felt good. Elias's smirk widened. "You're learning, Adam." Ayumi didn't come to work the next day, or the day after. Adam expected her to bounce back. She was stubborn, always pushing forward no matter what. But when she finally returned, something had changed. She was quieter, more distracted. Her usual sharp gaze, the one that always seemed to be analyzing him, was gone. The paranoia had settled deep in her bones. She barely even looked at him anymore. And just like that, she had given up. The USB, the laptop, the suspicion, everything. Adam should have felt relieved. But instead, he felt something else. A thrill. Elias had been right. Fear was a powerful tool. And now, Ayumi was no longer his problem. Elias was already in Adam's apartment when he got home. Of course he was. Adam wasn't even surprised anymore. He tossed his bag onto the couch and turned to find Elias watching him, lounging lazily against the counter, a knowing smirk on his lips. "She's done," Elias murmured. Adam exhaled, running a hand through his hair. "Yeah." Elias pushed off the counter, moving closer. His presence was always too much, too consuming, too sharp, like a blade pressed just shy of breaking skin. "And how does it feel?" Elias asked, voice low. Adam hesitated, because the truth was, it felt good, better than it should, and Elias could see it. His smirk deepened, his gaze burning into Adam like he was unraveling him piece by piece. "She was never your equal," Elias said. "You know that now." Adam swallowed. "I never wanted to—" Elias cut him off. "Yes, you did." A shiver ran down Adam's spine. Because maybe Elias was right. Elias stepped even closer, close enough that Adam could feel the heat of him, could smell the faint scent of something dark and intoxicating. "You're changing," Elias murmured. "And you like it." Adam's breath caught. He should pull away, should push Elias back. But he didn't. He couldn't. Elias reached out, fingers ghosting over Adam's wrist, not quite touching. Just a whisper of contact, a silent invitation. Adam's pulse roared. He knew this was dangerous. He knew that Elias was a trap, a fire he shouldn't step into. But for the first time, he wasn't sure if he wanted to resist. Elias tilted his head, waiting, his lips curling into something almost amused. "Tell me to stop," Elias whispered. Adam didn't. He couldn't. And Elias knew it. That was the moment Adam realized. This wasn't just obsession. This wasn't just control. This was something else, something far more dangerous, something neither of them could walk away from now. Adam had never felt in control around Elias. Elias always dictated the pace, always knew how to push him in just the right ways. But tonight, Tonight was different. Tonight, Adam was the one making the choice. He stood in his dimly lit apartment, watching Elias from across the room. The weight of his decisions settled over him, thick and undeniable. Elias had been watching him all night. Waiting. He knew. Of course he knew. Elias always saw through him. And yet, for once, he wasn't the one pulling the strings. It was Adam who stepped closer. Adam who closed the distance. And Elias. Elias just watched, silent, smirking, like he had been waiting for this all along. Adam exhaled slowly, his pulse steady. "You always want me to make a move," he murmured. "Is that it?" Elias tilted his head, his smirk deepening. "I've been very patient, Adam." Adam's fingers twitched. He was still scared. Not of Elias, not really, but of this, of what it meant to want this, of what it meant to want him. But tonight, fear wasn't going to stop him. He reached out, curling his fingers around Elias's collar, tugging him forward, just enough to erase the space between them. Elias's breath hitched, soft, barely audible, but Adam heard it. And that was when he knew. He had Elias just as much as Elias had him. He wasn't the only one falling. Something dark and electric crackled between them. Elias's smirk faltered just for a second. And Adam finally let go of the hesitation. He closed the gap completely, capturing Elias's lips in a slow, deliberate kiss. And Elias, for the first time, didn't push, didn't manipulate, didn't lead. He just let Adam have him. And God, it felt good. It felt like winning, like surrendering and winning at the same time. And Adam had never wanted anything more, never wanted